hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah. Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, you know, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
What message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everyone, for the family.
So there was no sign of this. This is just...
You know, everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find it.
Sheila E. was the last person Prince opened up to, and now the streets are saying that she's finally telling the world what Prince was trying to protect us from, and why Diddy didn't want him alive to do it.
I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Here's the thing, some fans believe Prince was ready to expose a deeper, darker truth, not just about music rights, but about the culture of exploitation, manipulation, and even rituals in the entertainment world. And guess what? Diddy's name is once again being whispered in connection with those exact same conversations. Coincidence? Maybe. Well, now Sheila E., who's been silent for years, is, according to various sources, finally breaking her silence, and her words are chilling. She is allegedly saying that Prince was trying to shield the world from something, and that he carried a burden we weren't ready to understand. So, for a bit of background, Sheila E. first met Prince in 1977 at a concert where she was performing with her father. Then, in early 1984, she signed with Warner Brothers Records and began working on her debut solo album, The Glamorous Life, with Prince, where he co-wrote and played on the hit title track. Sheila E. also opened for Prince on his iconic Purple Rain tour in 1984-1985. Then, shortly after the Purple Rain tour, Sheila E. signed with Prince's record label Paisley Park Records. She also served as musical director for Prince's Sign of the Times tour and his Love Sexy tour. In addition, Sheila E. also contributed to several Prince tracks and albums throughout the 1980s. She also appeared in his concert film Sign of the Times. She performed with him at the Brit Awards, and she also toured with Prince in mid-2007. But here's where it gets really interesting. See, other than collaborating on some of the most iconic music of the 80s and 90s, Sheila E. and Prince shared something far more intimate, and this is something fans still whisper about to this day. In fact, at one point during a live performance, Prince locked eyes with her across the stage and mouthed two life-altering words: "Marry me." It wasn't planned, by the way, and it wasn't staged. It was pure and unscripted, and according to reports, they were even briefly engaged after that, but they never married.
You were in a relationship with Prince. He even proposed to you. How did he do it?
It was during the Sign of the Times tour, and there were many songs that were like really emotional to me when we played, and Purple Rain was one of them. So playing that song and playing drums, I just love playing that song. And next thing I know, he's taking his solo, and as I opened my eyes, he was turning at the same time that I opened my eyes, and he's taking his solo, and he turns to me and he said, "Will you marry me?"
Now, I know that reports suggested that Sheila E. and Prince had not spoken for about 5 years before his passing in 2016. This arrangement allegedly stemmed from her autobiography, The Beat of My Own Drum, which included details of their relationship. But what if I told you that's not the case? According to close sources, they actually reconnected towards the end of Prince's life, and Prince allegedly told Sheila E. a lot about the industry, and some shocking details about Diddy allegedly. Okay, here's the thing: we know that Prince always warned about powerful images in the industry. People who controlled narratives owned artists and silenced them. Was Diddy one of them? Yet girl, you all know how passionate Prince was about artists being paid their worth and having control over their music, right?
November 31st, 1999. My publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label. And
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
The thing is, Prince was signed to Warner Music in 1977 when he was just 18, and even though the album he released between 1978 and 1981 did not do that well, he was kept on the label as he was regarded as a musician that reflected well on Warner, which at the time was a company that appeared to invest long-term in serious talent. In 1982, 1 year after MTV launched, Prince released more music, and he went top 10 in the US for the first time and became part of a new breed of musicians who understood the power of the music video as a way to market an artist and build their own iconography and mythology. Eventually, after pretty much stamping his mark in the industry, Prince also set up his own label, Paisley Park Records, which was part funded by Warner, which also handled its distribution. But by this time, he had already started exposing how his label was short-changing him and taking advantage of him.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Yes, we're talking about the same Warner Brothers that was funding Diddy, and he even had a deal that gave the record company a 50% stake in his Bad Boy Records label. Under the deal, Warner would market and handle digital and physical distribution of Bad Boy's catalog releases worldwide, and the label's roster of artists included Mace Mario, Wynn's Notorious B.I., and P. Diddy himself. In fact, while speaking about the deal, Diddy even said, "There have been a lot of boutique record labels that come and go, and we are still here." This has ensured for the next couple of years that we have the right financial backing, the right financial structure, the right partners to remain a force in the music industry. And you know what? The same way Warner was treating Prince and other artists is the same way Diddy was treating artists at Bad Boy Records. Look at Lil Jerome, for instance. When asked if it was his choice to leave the label, Jerome said, "Well, it's just a mixture of the growing pains and the pressure of the music business. I had a nervous breakdown, and it was in Puppy's best interest to not keep the project." In short, it wasn't his choice to leave the label, but more of a result of circumstances. According to Lil Jerome, he actually had about a good 13 songs ready for an album to come out before he had the little breakdown. And guess what? Diddy didn't care, they just tossed him out. Someone like Carl Thomas also said the reason why he left Bad Boy Records was because when his brother died, Diddy called him a week later and asked when he was returning to the studio because he had some hits for him like he didn't even consider that his artist was still mourning the loss of his brother. And then there was Biggie, who according to Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal planned to leave Bad Boy Records behind for a better deal elsewhere. Actually, in the aftermath of Biggie's death, Diddy reportedly pressured Bad Boy employees to focus on marketing and album sales for Biggie's release life after death, like he was not even grieving and was obsessed with the album being number one, top 10. Well, before Diddy was hit with the first lawsuit, he was also trending because of his sudden decision to give artists signed to Bad Boy, including former artists, their publishing rights. At the time, Aubrey O'Day shared her concerns about getting back publishing rights, and she said that she received the details of the agreement months prior. At the same time, other Bad Boy artists received similar calls to retrieve their song rights, but there was a catch.
So basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming. For the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever.
Basically, Diddy wanting to give back publishing rights was just another move of manipulation control, and to silence his artists, reportedly Prince was watching all this long before the public was paying attention, and if he shared even a sliver of what he knew with Sheila E., it makes sense why she's only now starting to speak, because the story Prince died with may actually be catching up with the people he warned about, according to some sources. Sheila E. has been saying that Prince saw this industry for what it was a long time ago, and he warned about the exploitation of artists, the theft of creative ownership, the way the system chews people up and spits them out. He called it modern-day slavery, and he called out labels for stealing legacies, and he wanted to drop names. Well, in recent years, Sheila E. has remained graceful and respectful when speaking about Prince, but now almost a decade since his death, she's allegedly starting to open up in subtle, intriguing ways. She's mentioned that Prince carried a heavy burden, one he rarely talked about, and sources close to Sheila E. have hinted over the years that Prince confided in her not just about his struggles, but about what he believed was coming for the music world. He wasn't just fighting for his own masters, he was trying to shine a light on the entire machine, and he warned that some of the biggest names in the industry were playing God with artists' lives and livelihoods, and with recent events shaking the music industry, particularly the growing controversy surrounding Diddy's ongoing legal troubles, some are beginning to connect that it's even more alarming that Prince knew a few days before his death that it was the end of the road for him, and he even posted a picture of himself, which contained a since deleted message just when you thought you were safe, in fact, during his final appearance at a party at Paisley Park just after his reported treatment and days before his death. Prince reportedly told attendees, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." And just like he had predicted, Prince died at age 57 after being found unresponsive at his estate in Minnesota. At the time, health officials determined Prince died of an accidental fentanyl OD after unknowingly taking counterfeit Vicodin, laced with a highly potent synthetic opioid. But even Sheila E. said that never made sense.
There are reports that say that the landing last week was a treatment for some sort of a drug overdose, whether prescription or illicit. Did you ever have any signs of drug use? Did you ever see any signs of drug use with him lately that would end up in something like this?
No.
So we ask once again, was Prince's death just another tragic end to a brilliant life? Or was it something more? Is Sheila E. finally ready to drop the truth bomb? And how deep does the rabbit hole go with Diddy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are we connecting dots that were never meant to meet? Or is there something real hiding in plain sight?